What's going on, guys? Travis Yo here, Yo Money Matters, and welcome to the first part of a 4-part mini-series entitled, Can I Even Retire? Because again, this has been a Google search topic that has been searched for the past 10, 15, 20 years, because in today's crazy economy, people don't know if they can retire or not. So I'm super excited to go over some information for you today. You're gonna wanna grab a notebook. You're gonna wanna send this video to families and friends. I'm gonna be going over, do I have enough money saved? What different types of retirement accounts are out there? So if you have not already, go ahead and click on that subscribe button, turn on the notifications so you can be up to date on all the latest video drops. But let's jump right in. So when you're looking at retirement, guys, there's actually only 2 phases when it comes to retirement. The first one is called the accumulation phase. Now this is the time where you're actually going to be building your nest egg over the lifespan of your life. Every single penny, every single dollar that you're going to be building towards your long-term saving retirement. The second thing is what we call the distribution phase. This is exactly when you're like, all right, I'm going to retire. I'm going to start taking my money from my nest egg. So when you're looking at saving money, especially for your retirement, you got to kind of think of it as a game, right? Because there's so many things that we're saving our money for. We're saving money for a down payment on a house. We're saving money for our kids' college. We're saving money for many different things, and it's really hard to differentiate between where I should be putting my money. Should I be paying off a debt? Should I be putting money into my emergency fund? Yes, you need to be doing all of these things, and that's why there's so many different ways you can save your money. There's many different rules, which look in the description below. There's all the different ways that you can categorize where you should put your money. There's the 5-30-20 rule, the 70-20-10, the 6-20-20, the 30-30-30-10, and the 70-10-10-10 rule. These are all rules. Again, it depends on your situation, how you're able to save money for what you want to save your money for. So now when it comes to your actual retirement plans that are available to you, there are a lot out there, guys. So some of them I'm going to go over right now are going to be common, and some of them are going to be not so common. The first ones that most people have heard of are what's called defined contribution plans, which typically means either yourself as an individual or as an employee of a company, you're the one paying into these types of retirement plans, such as an employee-sponsored 401k or a 403b. Also, you can have a IRA or a Roth IRA, or maybe you have something like a 457 or a thrift savings plan. Some of these you may have heard of. Maybe a coworker has them, maybe you have one, right? But the also not so common ones are typically for, self-employed people or small business owners, where they have access to a few different tools, one of which is called a simple IRA or a SEP IRA. There are also things like a laser fund or a LERP plan, or some companies do offer what's called a defined benefit plan, also known as a pension, right? It's very rare that some of these companies do offer a pension today, but either way, these are most of the different plans that are available to all individuals. It's really about choosing what's best for your situation and where you can maximize the pros and the cons. Now, if you guys are looking for more info on all of these different types of retirement plans, go look down in the description below. I'm going to provide a link to one of the articles that I wrote that goes over the ins and outs of how all these products work, and that way you can choose which one is best for you. Take a look down there. Now, one of the next things I wanted to go over with you guys is the most popular type of retirement plan that's out there is what's called a 401k, right? Everyone and their mom typically has one. Most people think that this is the best type of retirement plan because they really don't know anything else. So let's take a look at this one. What I love about this article is this is actually the Fidelity financial firm, went over some numbers when it comes to 401ks. So this is at the Q3, so the end of Q3 of 2022. Here's the average 401k balances based by age. So if you look here, from 20 to 24, the average is about $4,100. 25 to 34 is $22,000. 35 to 44 is $63,000. 45 to 54 is $128,000. And 55 to 64 is about $189,000. And if you're 65 plus, the average is about $203,000. So just want to talk to you guys about this real quick because, to be very honest, that isn't a lot of money. if you are 65 years old today and you only have $200,000, do you know how long that's going to last you? Just using a simple 4% rule that the most financial advisors talk about, where you take 4% of your nest egg and that should last you for the rest of your retirement. Well, 4% of 200,000, guys, is only 8,000. Could you live off of only $8,000 a year? When you break that down per month, you're looking at about $650 a month. Not very sexy. So that's one portion of a 401k averages, but they also look at medians. So the difference between an average and a median, averages is you take every single person in the entire US that has a 401k, you add up all of their totals and you divide it by the number of people that have one, that gives you an average. But the better number to look at is what's called the median, because that is actually the smack dab right person right in the middle of the lowest person all the way to the highest person. This is what the middle person actually has. So if you're looking here, this person has from 20 to 24, the median 401k amount is only $1,500. 25 to 34 is $8,600. 35 to 44 is $2,100, $900. 45 to 54 is $39,000. 55 to 64 is $56,000, and then 65 plus is only $55,000. So these numbers are definitely astonishing when you're looking at the bigger picture of things. It just typically means that these people just aren't saving enough money, and they're realizing that the 401k is probably not the best form of retirement, right? So just wanted to bring that to you guys to kind of give you some insight when it comes to what type of vehicles are out there and what you should be putting your money into. So now, guys, we need to get into the most crucial part when it comes to planning for retirement. And you got to take a few things into account. So one of the things you have to look into is, what type of lifestyle do you want to have when you retire? Are you going to be someone extravagant? You're going to be traveling a lot? Is your home going to be paid off? Are you going to have any more bills? Obviously, your kids are going to be out of the house, well, they're supposed to be. But what type of lifestyle do you want? Maybe you're just simple and you want to stay at home because you've lived in the same house your entire life and that's where you're going to pass away. Or maybe you're going to downsize your home because the house that you had was too big, right? No, who needs a 5-6 bedroom house when it's just you and your spouse? So once you have a general idea, that's what's going to really help you understand, okay, how much income do I need to be taking on a monthly basis? So this next part is where it gets fun. Now I'm going to ask you a question. Do you know what your FIN number is? What am I talking about? I'm talking about your financial independence number. And today I'm actually going to help you figure that out. So again, there's a few things that you need to understand. You need to understand what monthly income do you want to be taking when you retire. The next thing I need to know is, when do you plan on retiring? And then from there, how much are you consistently saving towards your retirement to get you to that amount that we're looking for? So let's break it down. Remember, this is a template that I created, Excel spreadsheet, which I'm actually going to be making available to you down in the descriptions below. I'm actually going to give you a link to my website, and for the first 10 subscribers that actually go ahead and subscribe to my new website, you'll be getting a discount code so you can actually download this template for free. But let's hop in. So finding your FIN number, financial independence number. So it gives you all the data needed to figure out how much money you are going to need to build your retirement. So if I'm 36 years old today, which I am, and I'm going to retire at, let's just make the math easy, 66 years old. Okay, that's in 30 years, guys. 30 years to build my nest egg. Okay, the average life expectancy right now for a male in the US is actually about 75 to 78. I'm Asian, so I live a little bit longer. So I'm going to be putting 81. So that should give me like 15 years or so of retirement for me to enjoy my retirement. Okay. Now, what type of lifestyle do I want? Well, I live a pretty lavish lifestyle. I'm probably going to need around $10,000 a month, okay? So $10,000 a month, that's $120,000 a year. Now we gotta take a few things into account. So one, the average inflation rate for the past 100 years has been about 3 to 3.5%. So I'm meaning right in the middle of 3.25. And then of course we gotta account for taxes, right? So understanding what your taxes are, what it's gonna be, what tax rate you're gonna be, or what type of retirement plans are you using that's either tax deferred or are they tax advantaged. So total amount of money I'm going to need if I retire at 66 planning to live until 81, I'm gonna need $1.8 million. That's in a nutshell. That's not accounting for any taxes or inflation. So now with the way the calculator is, if I'm including inflation at 3.25% for the next 30 years, then the actual dollar amount I'm going to need at that time is actually about 3.5 million. Because if I want to take $120,000 a year, it's actually about $237,000 a year, which I need to be pulling almost $19,750 monthly, almost double my $10,000, because you got to account for inflation. It's about a 90% increase over 30 years. Now, if I'm accounting for taxes, because I'm using traditional IRAs or 401ks, traditional that's using what's called qualified money, I have not paid taxes on them yet, then I have to account for taxes as well, which that's about 30%. Again, taxes may fluctuate. It could be higher, it could be lower, but for the average marginal tax rate, it's about 30% with federal and state. And so for this one, as you can see, I'm gonna need about $5 million in the next 30 years, because I'll need to be able to have $28,000 a month or $330,000 a year to maintain the same lifestyle if I want to have $10,000 a month. Pretty crazy to think about, right? So on the bottom here is a compound interest calculator, something that's going to help you understand, okay, well, am I saving enough money? So what's my current retirement? I actually have about $15,000 in a 401k or an IRA. My monthly savings contributions is about $700, and I'm gaining about a 9% average rate of return. Well, if I have 30 years until retirement, with the way I have right now, if my 15,000 keeps growing, I keep contributing $700 a month into this plan at 9% on average, well, I'm only gonna have $1.3 million. Is that anywhere close to my 5 million? No, it's not. So now I have to tweak my retirement. Now this is where it gets fun. Well, I say fun, but now you either have to work longer so that the number of years of retirement decreases, or I have to expect a lower monthly income. Or I just have to make a crap load more money and save more money so that I can attain this retirement. Does that make sense, guys? So those are the options that you get to play with of figuring that out. All right, guys, so I just went over a bunch of stuff when it comes to retirement. Again, I'm just touching the surface here, but it should give you a good idea of what to expect into building your retirement, right? How much money should I be saving? What type of interest rates am I getting? And if I haven't already, guys, check out this video. I went over what's called the Rule of 72. It basically talks about how fast your money is growing and how compound interest works. But if you like the video, guys, put a like on that. Subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification buttons so you can be up to date on these all new videos coming your way. Stay tuned for part 2.